Tiny teaching stick.
Snow White. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom nestled among towering mountains and lush forests, there lived a beautiful young princess named Snow White. She was born with skin as fair as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as dark as ebony. Her gentle nature and kind heart endeared her to all who knew her, including the woodland creatures that roamed the kingdom's forests. Snow White's mother, the beloved queen, passed away when she was just a child, leaving her in the care of her father, the king. Despite his grief, the king adored Snow White and did everything in his power to ensure her happiness. However, as Snow White grew older, the king's heart remained heavy, and he sought solace in the companionship of a vain and wicked woman who became his new queen. The new queen was consumed by jealousy and could not bear the thought of anyone rivaling her beauty. Her envy grew each day as the people of the kingdom continued to praise Snow White's grace and charm. Determined to be the fairest in the land, the queen devised a wicked plan to rid herself of Snow White once and for all. One fateful day, while Snow White was wandering through the forest, she stumbled upon a quaint cottage hidden among the trees. Inside, she found 7 small beds neatly arranged, and a cozy fire burning in the hearth. It was the home of 7 dwarfs who worked in the nearby mines. Grateful for their hospitality, Snow White offered to cook and clean for them in exchange for shelter. Meanwhile, the queen, consumed by her jealousy, disguised herself as an old peddler woman and ventured into the forest. She crafted a poisoned apple, its surface gleaming red and tempting, and set out to find Snow White. When she reached the cottage, she found Snow White alone and vulnerable. With sweet words and cunning persuasion, the queen convinced Snow White to take a bite of the poisoned apple. As soon as Snow White tasted the fruit, she fell into a deep slumber, her once vibrant complexion paling with each passing moment. Heartbroken and filled with regret, the dwarfs returned to find Snow White lying motionless on the ground. They wept for their dear friend, unable to wake her from the cursed sleep. Grief-stricken, they fashioned a glass coffin and placed Snow White inside, where she remained as though in peaceful repose. Word of Snow White's fate spread throughout the kingdom, reaching the ears of a brave prince who vowed to save her. Riding through the forest, he found the cottage where Snow White lay, surrounded by mourning dwarfs. Struck by her beauty, even in death, the prince leaned down and pressed a gentle kiss upon her head. To everyone's astonishment, Snow White stirred from her slumber, her eyes fluttering open as color returned to her cheeks. The curse was broken, and true love had triumphed once again. Snow White and the prince were married in a grand ceremony, and together they ruled the kingdom with wisdom and compassion, forever banishing the darkness that had once threatened to consume them. And they lived happily ever after, their love enduring for all time.